Joined very kindly by Michael Mross, who is a stock market guru, and he's also the editor-in-chief of MMU News. Michael, thanks very much for talking to us. Now, tell me, will you be backing this referendum that's being proposed?
If there is a referendum, of course we will be backing it, but on the other hand, I have big doubts that this referendum will take place because all those questions around the euro are ignored. They are more or less politically incorrect. We don't have really support from the media, from the masses. This theme is people just don't talk about it, and it's really a scandal, in my opinion, that you from Russian TV are here and none of the Western media is, for example, covering this event here. So there are big question marks if such a poll could be realized in the future, because the political stress will be too high that people will not be able, for example, to vote about their own currency, which is a basic democratic theme, in my opinion. We were not asked if we want to have it. Also, many other people of the European community were not asked. And if you would ask them, they would say, no, we don't like it. For example, we had a recent poll here in Germany. 53% of all Germans didn't want the euro, still don't want it at the moment, and even 60% of the French people don't like it. So I asked myself, why do we have it then? It's only a thing of a political bureaucracy in Brussels. They behave more or less like dictators, in my opinion. You know, we didn't elect them, but they tell us what to do. So,
and in fact, that's one of the things that you and other people in the room are saying, isn't it? That the euro is a tool for undermining democracy.
Yes, of course. It is so very much. It is the basic tool for Brussels in order to dictate into the governments. And the end of the aim, the real aim, is to make governments dependent on Brussels. That means we lose our sovereignty, we lose our own will in terms of saying what we do with our own money, and we have to give it all to Brussels, and then they do what they want with the money without any legitimation. And this is, in my opinion, the only reason why Brussels is still sticking so very much with billions and billions to the euro, because they know if the euro will collapse, they will lose their power. And this is the real thing behind it. They don't want it.
And you have called the euro the biggest nonsense in monetary history. Are there economic reasons as well why you object to it?
How can you compare Greece with Germany, for example? In former days, let's say in the 90s, we know that Greece or Italy or take southern countries have a special way in order to manage their economies. We know that. And if there are problems, you had these devaluations. Then the drachma or the lira was 10% less at one day. It was a big excitement for 1 week, and afterward it was calm again, business as usual. This is how real economies have to work. You have small entities which compete to each other, and if then something goes wrong, you have means of regulating it all, and then smaller parts can devaluate, other parts appreciate in their currency. And this is capitalism, like I learned it at school. Not this what we have now, that you have a Brussels bureau, for example, a entity that it's moving more towards that what we had in the former UdSSR, who dictate us. Now we make stability, which is ridiculous in my opinion. You cannot dictate stability, for example, through this European stability facility thing there in Luxembourg, 750 billion euros for stability. Stability has to come from the governments itself, from the roots, from Greece, from Italy, from Germany.
Well, let's talk a bit more about stability. How much is this conversation about getting rid of the euro pie in the sky, if you like? Don't you think it would be a hugely destabilising thing, now that the euro is in place, to dismantle the eurozone in this way? Some economists say that it would be almost the same as the effect that the collapse of Lehman Brothers had.
Yeah, this is of course the other side of the coin. The longer we have it, the more difficult it will be to get rid of it. And of course there will be thousands and millions of problems, but it doesn't mean that we didn't have to start now, because the longer we wait, the more problems we will get, and the higher we will fall down. I mean, there is a saying in Germany, if you're moving towards the wrong direction, there is no sense in accelerate the velocity, that even makes it more harder for us all at the end, because the euro as it is at the moment cannot survive. Everybody knows that. And everything that we heard before was a preemptive thing, was telling us that there is an illness, that we have symptoms like Greece, this and that, and now Brussels comes and says, okay, we spend more money. Spend more money from what? They have no money. We only can make more debts. There is no 750 billion money left in our pockets to support a country. So along this shows already how difficult this is. I mean, at the end, if we go on like this, also Germany will lose his solvency. This is the end, you know. Then, of course, euro is also done. So, in my opinion, it is first and foremost very important to go to the beginning of all of it and check the real problems behind it. When you see it's not working, then you have to stop it. And in my opinion, there is no other way that at the end Germany has to step out of the euro. Because next year, in my opinion, this rescue package will be drawn. Then Italy, Greece, Spain, Ireland will step out and say, okay, we have no money because the interest rates are too high. They have these hidden contracts where they must not participate on this rescue package, and then only the North countries can pay it, especially Germany with 500 billion euro. This will be the time when German people will step on the street and say no. But what happens then? Then the rest of Europe will say, okay, you bad Germans, you are guilty that Europe has broken, that the euro has collapsed. And so I see very, very complicated problems moving ahead of us.
Okay, Michael Mross, thank you very much for joining us. As Mr. Mross said,